Peace and abundance always. Welcome. My name is Peter Abundant, aka Dr. Abundant, minister and PhD in Metaphysical Sciences. So today I want to share with you a very simple but absolutely profound and powerful message and insight for you, even if you are just stumbling across this channel for the first time and you may not ever come back here again, or if you're somebody who has been consistently supportive, watching every one of my videos and commenting, which I extremely appreciate, this is for you. Because this is one of those things, those messages that are absolutely fundamental and is imperative for every single individual out there. Okay. Now, this past week, I've been putting out very special videos. These videos can be looked at as controversial. They can be looked at as triggers for people and really can get into people's under their skin, right? Because it's dealing with religion, it's dealing with Christianity, it's dealing with the Bible. And now, mind you, it isn't very confrontational in nature. Is very supportive, and in nature is very, wanting to support people in their spiritual journey, though they recognize as being religious, to get deeper into what it is that they believe and support them and find deeper meaning in what they believe. But a lot of times when you are talking about either spirituality, religion, or politics, people get triggered really easily, and they can be very opinionated about what it is that they believe, and they feel like it's an opportunity for them to share their take on you sharing your take, right? In this case, sharing my take. And if they don't get it initially, sometimes it causes them to simply shut it down and want to fight and argue about it. Now, this leads to the bottom line of this message. You are the leader of your own reality. Right? My fundamental message is that you are the creator of your reality, of your universe. Now, some people already may be triggered by that because they say, well, God, the universe, is in charge. Well, the understanding with my 30 years of studying spirituality, metaphysical sciences, various religions, is that ultimately that which is in charge more than anything is your own consciousness, which I describe is the individualized expression of that which we call God. And that you are essentially the hand of God. You actually materialize and do and manifest God's will by connecting with your divine essence and aligning with your pure consciousness, which is who you truly are. Now, some people may find that troubling because they associate that with feeling like everything is on them. And I get it. Because, yes, everything essentially is on you. But what I want you to understand in this statement is that because you are connected, you are one with that divine intelligence, that infinite intelligence, that source, the universe. You have to recognize that when you think about the concept of God, God does not fail. God does not lose, right? God does not make mistakes. There is a divine order in what's happening and what God is doing. So when you take that and you incorporate that into your inner divine being, the God within you, then you understand that when you take on this responsibility of recognizing that you are the leader of your reality, you create all of this from the standpoint of recognizing that divine spark is the thing, then you understand that, wait a minute, it doesn't matter what happens or what I do, as long as I am following my consciousness and I am recognizing my shadow self, my ego self, and I am putting them and managing them and putting them in their proper place, then I am in alignment with that. And therefore, I can't lose. Therefore, I can't really make mistakes. as long as I am being mindful, as long as I am practicing self-reflection, self-awareness, empathy, compassion, love, then I am sure to win. In fact, I would go as far as to say you are guaranteed to win. At some point, you are guaranteed to win. So, getting back to the very essence of why I'm sharing this message with you is because when you are putting yourself out there, whether you are sharing books, you're sharing videos, you're sharing music, you're sharing art, you're sharing creating things, and you're putting it out there, you're going to have people who want to criticize it. And most times those people that criticize are coming from a place of envy, jealousy, because they are being led by their ego and they can't help but feel shame toward oneself. And thus they push that out towards you and try to make you feel bad about what you're doing. You see? And so they put out that negative hate towards you, that negative energy towards you, because it's really a reflection of how they feel about themselves. So when you feel like somebody is criticizing you for doing something that you feel is in alignment with who you are and makes you happy, and you feel like it is in line with your purpose, or that it is absolutely your purpose, then you really understand that, one, though you may care about that person, you should not care about their criticism, unless they're coming from experience, right? Unless the criticism is coming from one of mentorship or somebody who has actually done it before. But we find that the criticism often comes from people who haven't even thought about doing what it is that they're criticizing you about doing. So that is indicative of their inability to actually follow their own consciousness and be the lead of their own reality, right? They have accepted somebody else's reality, like we often do in the beginning. We accept other people's reality because as children, that's just simply what happens, right? And then eventually, as you get older, you start to question, you start to take on a identity of, recognizing that some things just don't make sense, right? Some things just are not connecting right. And then you decide, you know what, I'm going to look further into this. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to go deeper into this. And that leads you into your own understanding. That leads you into your own path of recognizing what works for you. What is aligning with your fulfillment, your joy. And so essentially, you have to get to a point where people are going to have opinions. People are going to have things to say. They're going to criticize you. They're going to probably, make you feel or try to make you feel inadequate, or try to make you feel like you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. But you have to recognize that there's a reason why you are putting it out there in the first place. And it is often because this is what your consciousness needs to do to move you along the path of your own self-realization, right? Which often creates things like fulfillment, joy, happiness, right? Which is what we all of us want that in our lives. So ultimately, recognize that every exchange that you have with a person, make sure you lead in that exchange. Make sure when you start your day, you put an intention. You start your day with purpose. And even if you're not clear what your general purpose is in life, make sure that the day starts out with a purpose, and that throughout the day, you are conscious about that purpose. It can be as simple as, I'm going to have a good day today. I'm going to enjoy my day today, no matter what happens. You see, that is putting purpose into your day. And so when you are doing something and you're doing it with purpose, either to help and support people, either to make more money, either to support your family, to inspire your family, to inspire others, to simply follow your curiosity, your passions, then you do it. Okay? And people, again, are only criticizing you, especially those who haven't done it, because they envy and wish that they can do what you're doing. So you lead in the exchange that is happening here, recognizing that you are secure and that your consciousness is leading you to do something. You are doing it. Okay? And though you may not have a clear picture of the result that may come from what you're doing, you still will have a sense of happiness, excitement about doing it. That tells you you're on the right path. The criticism from others says nothing about you. The criticism from others only says something about them. Okay? So once you recognize that, it frees you up from the criticism. Just simply continue to move forward. And you lead in the relationships or in your exchanges or interactions with people by, firstly, recognizing the kind of relationship you have. If it is with somebody who is close to you, a spouse, a partner, right? Children, parents, then identify that that relationship is important and a relationship that you wish to keep and cultivate. So you have to be strategic about how you lead that relationship when it pertains to you and what you desire and what you're doing. But you lead it with a sense of ownership and confidence in who you are and the journey of understanding, right? Your divine essence, your consciousness, and who you're meant to be. So you have to continue to move forward with this sense of recognizing that the divine is within you, right? God is within you. God does not fail. Therefore, you will not fail. And if you have to continue to tell yourself that over and over and over, that is fine. That is part of the process of spirituality, is recognizing that divine little spark, that little light that is within you. And the more attention you give to it, the brighter and the bigger that light will grow. And then eventually, it isn't a matter of you trying to talk down the ego, because now the ego may be so loud as to taking the criticism, feeling attacked, feeling triggered, feeling insecure, feeling like you want to stop, feeling angry, feeling upset, feeling disappointed. Then eventually you get to a place, because you continue to feed that light, where you recognize only that they are projecting their own fears, their own insecurities. They are projecting the control that the ego has over them. So now you begin to move forward in a state where you're not taking what they say personal, because you know where they're coming from. You understand, you are, empathetic to where they're coming from. And you just continue to move forward in your life and creating that which you desire, living your purpose, right? Knowing that eventually you will be a source of inspiration or motivation for them, especially when you achieve that which you are setting out to achieve and create. You are already being a source of inspiration for them, even though they don't know it, because you triggering their ego to criticize you, right? To throw shade or hate at you is really a manifestation of change that is happening for them by way of what it is that you're doing. You see? So own the fact that by doing what you're doing, you think that you are capsulated, and you think that your experience is only focused on you and you're the only one doing it. But people are watching and other people are being affected by it in a positive way. So continue to move forward. Recognize that every relationship, it is your responsibility to lead that relationship. Don't let anybody dictate how you feel, how you should feel, right? How you should respond. You decide what your purpose is throughout the day, throughout every moment. And it takes practice. I get that, because most times we are on autopilot and we're just going through the motions. And when those motions get interrupted by somebody who is rude, somebody who is hurtful, somebody who is mean, we don't have the skill set to actually take a moment. We are automatically triggered. So you have to create the skill set of creating what I like to call a pause in response, right? Like you have the initial feeling, the trigger, and then you simply think about it and you recognize, wait a minute, I don't like this feeling. I don't like being triggered. So therefore, I'm going to decide my state of being. I'm going to lead in this exchange, in this relationship. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that this exchange is in alignment with the purpose that I set for the day, for the moment, for my life. You see, so it's really about recognizing that you are in charge, and it doesn't matter what somebody does. You know, yes, if somebody gets irate, aggressive, violent, you have an option to leave. You know, even if somebody is toxic and their energy and you're just not even feeling their vibe, you get to leave. You get to walk away. Because if it is interfering with your peace, your wellness, your well-being, then it is not worth being around that person. Okay? Now, if you find that it happens with everybody, then that needs to be an opportunity for you to reflect, right? Because a lot of times the triggers that we're experiencing are symptoms of something going on within. So always take time to self-reflect. If you feel like an exchange with somebody has caused you to say, you know what, I don't want to deal with this person, you take a minute, you walk away, and you simply think about the exchange, right? You think about the interaction, the altercation. And you take a real honest look at yourself and say, okay, was I triggered by this in a way that I need to see a, weak point? I need to see an unconscious limiting belief, or it has triggered a belief about me that I don't want to admit that I have about myself? Or is it simply them? Because though you create your own reality, they are still individuals. You have say over the exchange, but you don't have say over what they do. So you have to learn to separate those two things. Now, your ability to control and lead the interaction in the space of your universe is more powerful than you think. But we still have to honor the individual and respect that, they are being who they're being at this moment. It is nothing personal. This is their journey. This is their life. And I'm going to live my life and live my journey out in the way that I see fit, in the way that you desire. Okay, so move forward recognizing you cannot fail. You are the creator of all of your experiences, all of your exchanges, all of your life. And so you get to decide what it is that you're going to create in the experience, in the moment, in the exchange, in your entire life. Thank you so much. Feel free to go to drabundant.com, subscribe to my daily newsletter, get access to this free ebook, The Power Within, and everything else. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.